The modern women tutorials. Money matters. Now, what I mean by that is not that money matters, as in, a guy's money matters, right? I mean, it's important. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying money matters as in the matters of money. Not that money itself matters, because money's not important, but it is a tool. It's useful, and it's important to be able to use it, right? Whatever you need it for. Now, the thing is, you know, I've always thought and always supported the idea of ladies being able to make their own money, especially, from doing work from home jobs and stuff like that when you're a wife. So that way you have a way of making, income, right? Why not? Especially if you have a lot of free time at home, why not make some money at home, right? So you can bring in bread and, bring some bread to the house, not just the husband, right? And nothing wrong with that, right? Teamwork makes the dream work, right? But the thing is, most ladies make money for themselves, not for relationship like how guys do. Because when a guy gets money, he's like, okay, I gotta get a girlfriend, right? I get somebody to spend money on. But when a chick gets money, it's just for her. She has no intention of sharing it with anybody. Now, there's some ladies out here that have no problem sharing money, have no problem, paying bills and stuff like that. But still, though, your money is your money. And it only has one purpose, which is just to be spent a lot of times frivolously. And then even when you have money, you still want a guy to have money to buy you things, to do things for you. And it's like, it should be you have money for you, he has money for him, and that, and that's it. Y'all have jobs and whatnot, y'all make money for that purpose, for y'all to be able to afford to live, right? Being the basicness, the bare minimum of being an adult, right? Being able to take care of yourself. Nothing wrong with working together, putting money together towards something, like maybe towards a trip, towards a house and whatnot. Ain't nothing wrong with it, right? Teamwork makes the dream work. But modern day ladies, right, have the old school mindset of, no, the guy has to pay for everything. He still has to provide. He still has to take care of me financially, even though I have my own money. That don't make no sense. That's greed. That's selfishness. Because I always thought that the point of getting your own money, or at least the original ladies who, wanted the choice of making their own money instead of being a wife, was so that way, either A, you stay single and you take care of yourself, right? Don't need no man type situation. Or if you do get with a guy, right, and you work and make money, it's because you want to bring in money into the relationship, into the marriage, right? Into helping the household, right? Helping the family, helping the kids and stuff like that. So you think the money is to help, right? Or at least you bringing in money is to help reduce the burden of money, right, from your man. It's like, hey, I make money, so you don't have to worry about, buying me lavish gifts and this, that, and third, and do and pay for, shoes and dresses, all this impulse stuff that I normally would do. So you don't have to buy me a lot of stuff all the time. I could do that for myself. So the stuff that I want, I got it. The stuff that I need, you got it, right? I need a roof over my head. You'll make sure I have that. You make sure there's food, right? You make sure that the bills are paid, right? You make sure we have heating, air conditioning, we're safe, and this and that. Like, you'll take care of all my needs, but I'll take care of all my wants with my money, which is what you think it would be. But instead, ladies nowadays just want both, right? The guy to take care of your needs and your wants, when you're supposed to take care of your own wants, which is why y'all ladies have the choice of working. If you want him to take care of everything, your needs and your wants, then you're not supposed to be working, right? Not supposed to be getting your bag, because you're supposed to be sharing his bag. That's the thing. If you want him to share his bag, you have to be sharing his bag. You can't have your own bag and then want to share his. That's very selfish. That's very greedy. Right? So if you want him to share his bag, it's because you don't have one. You know, I'm the type of guy that has no problem, doing things for somebody, even if they already have the ability to do it for themselves. It's just that logically, I'm like, well, if you can pay your own bills, it don't make sense for me to, pay it for you when you already have the ability to do so. But it depends on the situation that determines, what I do with that situation. But logically, is like if you can take care of it, you can take care of it, right? I'm the type of person that's like, if you need something, you need it, and I got you. But if it's just a want, you just want something, like you just want money just for the sake of wanting it, then it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to give you money just because you want it. I'll give it to you because you need it. So if you need it for anything, I got you. But if you don't need it, then I'm not just going to give it to you because you want it, right? Because don't assume that I don't need my money for anything, right? There's tons of things I'll probably need it for, right? To be able to pay for stuff, to do stuff. That's the thing. Money just allows you to do things. Especially in society. Like money matters in society, but it doesn't matter, in reality, right? It doesn't really actually matter. We make it matter. We pretend that it matters. It's just a way that allows us to interact with one another and be like, hey, I need something to be done. You can do it, and I want you to do it because I don't want to do it. So here's money as part of a symbol of our agreement that you're going to do this thing that I want you to do. So that way I don't have to do it. Right? And that's all it really is. It's just, I always call it a favor token. It's just a token that represents, right, the concept of a favor. You do me a favor, I do you a favor, right? Whenever you need something from me, I got you. Whenever you need something, I need something from you, you got me, right? So that's the way I always look at it. Not that it's important, that it has value, that, that it matters. It's just a tool, just like a hammer. I can use hammers to fix things or break things. It depends on how I use it. That determines its worth, its usefulness. So money is useful, but it's not important. So the thing is like, if you make money, it should be for the purpose of making it where a lot of your needs should be met, of course, first and foremost, and then a lot of your wants can be met. And because you have money of your own, right, that should be less of a requirement from a guy. So then you should be looking at guys based off of who they are as a person, not what they have, right? Like money. Like I said, money doesn't matter. It's not important. So his value to you shouldn't be money based because, one, you already have money. So that's not something he brings to the table because you already have it, right? So think of, technically chicks don't have tables, but let's go with the hypothetical. You have a table. At your table, you have money, right? You have a career, you have a job, you have things to do. You have very little time very little free time because you're busy doing a whole bunch of stuff. That's what you bring to the table. So then the guy has to deal with that, right? It's like, okay, I'm gonna have less time with you. You got your own money, so my money is almost useless. And that's the way we look at it. Is that if you have less time to spend with us, you have your own money, so you really don't need us to give you any money. Then what's left? And then all that's left will be, spending that limited amount of time together, sex, and that's it. So then you have to think to yourself, it's like, what is it that you're dealing with the guy with, right? What is it you're looking for that you don't already have? Because the way it used to be, right? Talk about history. The way it used to be is that you looked for a guy who had a job, right? Right, money, had his own place, and a car. Those were the three requirements, right, that ladies look for when dealing with a guy. But now they want their requirements. They want higher requirements. They have higher standards now, right? Which are ridiculous because not many guys can meet those requirements all at once, because these are not things that they can do. Sometimes it's just something they have to be. Like they have to be 6 feet. That's not something some guy can just become. He can't just become 6 feet. He would have to be born that way, right? But getting a car, getting a house, and getting a job, a car, and a house is something any guy can do. So then all you would need, since any guy can get those three things, all you would need is his personality. His personality would be the most important thing. Who he is as a person, how he is with you in relationship. And that will determine his value, because inherently all three other things any guy can have that and provide that. Can provide transportation because he has a car, provide shelter because he has a house, provide money, right? Which is a resource, right? It's a tool. He could provide, food and trips and dates and stuff like that, and experiences because he has a job, right? So those are the three things that he typically, would have, and which our ladies look for, right? This is why guys who didn't have jobs tend to get turned down by chicks, because, well, they don't have a job, right? So the only real reason most guys, got jobs, other than, obviously they needed to pay for stuff, was so they can get chicks, which is why they always had the mindset, and a lot of us still do have the mindset of like, yeah, we make money so we can use it for the ladies, right? Use it to spend time with them, right? To take care of them, right? To be able to do things for them. And we like to do things to them, for them. But when you take that away from us, right? Take away our ability to provide, right? To be useful financially because you have your own money, and then you're reducing our usefulness to you, our value to you by doing that. You're just like you not listening to us, right? Or ignoring us, or wanting to do things your way instead of, listening to what we have to say and taking what we say to, account or to consideration. That's further reducing our value. So when you're slowly doing these types of things, you're reducing our value. It's like, then what's the point of us being with you if you're reducing our values, right? You're reducing it by obtaining things that, like money, for example, that we normally would have to obtain just to even get your attention. Just to get your attention, we need to have money, our own place, car, right? Be in good shape and everything. Like, what's the point of going to the gym, getting in shape, if you're not gonna appreciate it, right? That kind of stuff. So, we get into this awkward situation where it's like, well, what was the point? It should have been the point of making your own money was so that way you wouldn't require a guy's money, so that way you wouldn't use money as a disqualifier. Oh, you don't make money, I can't mess with you, right? You're supposed to be like, well, money don't matter because I have my own money, so I don't need your money. So personality is what you need to bring to my table or bring to the table. Let's just make it just a general table. It doesn't belong to a specific anybody. It's just a public table. So what do you bring to the table? What does he bring to the table, right? If you're already bringing money, well, that's not what you're asking for. You're not asking for a guy who makes money. So then what other qualities do you want, right? Personality, looks, culture, right? So I notice a lot of people don't mention that. They don't mention like the culture, like somebody's, culture, upbringing, and stuff like that. Sometimes I hear somebody like, a chick say that she wants a guy who's spiritual, or a guy who's, Christian or something, or, you know, he's religious or something. Like, okay, sometimes I hear that. But most people don't talk about culture. Most chicks talk about money, looks, height, right, fitness, that kind of stuff, loyalty, no cheating, but they don't really go into the whole, like, culture. Like, I'm interested in a guy who, has, Japanese culture, or European culture, or African culture, or Latin culture, whatever. Like, it's usually materialistic things, less of personal beliefs, right? So it's less of who the person is as a person, what they believe in, how they live their life, their mindset, the people they associate with, right? Because, I mean, logically, I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with somebody who hates men, and her culture is man-hating. Let's say, hypothetically, Amazon is chicks, right? Chicks who are from Amazon, right? And they are man-haters, right? As in, they don't like men, right? It will make no sense for me to try to get in a relationship with a chick that don't like men, right? That's her culture, not to like men. So, not a culture that I would be interested in, right? Because I am a man. So, that kind of stuff. Let's say there's a guy, his culture is about stealing, and you don't like guys who steal. So, obviously, you wouldn't be in a relationship with a guy whose culture is stealing, right? That kind of stuff. So, that's the thing. Is like, I notice a lot of people don't look at those types of details. Look into, Precious. They'll look, into improving things. Oh shit! He set him up. That's a setup. Look into, the guy's, belief system, his culture, right? Like I said, things that will let you know what type of person is like, especially if their culture, treats women a certain type of way, right? Sometimes that becomes a thing, especially if you're Muslim, right? If you deal with a guy who's Muslim, then definitely culture is going to be a factor. But most people tend to exclude culture when it comes to relationships and whatnot. They don't exclude money. Ladies never exclude money, from what I've seen, but they do exclude a lot of other things, right? Even if chicks talk about, oh, I don't want a guy who cheats, but if he's rich, oh yeah, he could cheat. Oh, okay, so you do make an exception. So this whole, you don't like guys who cheat, doesn't really matter. What you don't like is guys who are broke, quote unquote broke, right? No guy's really broke if you have a job. Even homeless guys have money. But anyway, it's like, okay, it just, he has to have a certain amount of money to be allowed to cheat. So you have a problem with guys cheating under a certain price range. That's what you really mean to say. You don't like guys who cheat under a price range. So that's for a different conversation, obviously. Like I said, money doesn't really matter, but if you're going to be making money, get your own bag and stuff like that, then you definitely shouldn't be making it a big deal or make it matter when it comes to choosing a partner, right? Like I said, everybody has money, right? A guy who has a job has money. So saying that he don't got money, he broke because he's not a millionaire is ignorance. That's not how that works. As long as he has money, he has money.